So I'm here in New York City and I came up to meet with one of our clients, Vivek and Ruan, and we are talking all about their businesses, and I thought, what a better time to make a SplashDash video. So in this video, I'm going to be showing you how I use SplashDash to dramatically improve results for our clients and give you some ideas on how to use the tool as well. To start, who are the clients? Well, they are a dental group in Southern Florida, and they are expanding into new locations every now and then. So I really like to use SplashDash to give them reasonable results. This particular launch was a little bit different because it was a location that they're not already in. So it was a new location with a new domain, which is always difficult to predict if you're gonna get results or not. And if you're an agency, I'm sure that you've been there before, a client wants to expand, and you wanna be able to tell them with confidence if they're gonna get results or not. And that's exactly where the SplashDash competitive overview report comes in really handy. This showed me that the competition had an average of 616 reviews, average of 1,000 site keywords they were ranking for, average of 267 visitors, average domain authority of 7, and the average domain age was 15 years. That's really important to know because if you overestimate or underestimate these kinds of things, it can lead to client dissatisfaction. So the strategy with launching the website was to create a page that was built off of the data to address the demographics in that area, which we're going to talk about. This was a single page website with all of the key messaging that we researched directly on that page. Things like a clear call to action, less pages but higher quality, professional photo, and professional video. Oftentimes, we try to overdo these things when really they could be really simple and really easy. So we always started with a sentiment analysis. This allowed me to show what the marketplace really liked about their dentists. Things like the doctor, the staff, the office, getting a cleaning, and then of course, there were the negative influences. These were things like dealing with insurance, not giving enough information to the patient, and doctors not being transparent about their pricing. So when we were utilizing these sentiment analysis, that was allowing us to make the page, but we also did keyword research using the advanced keyword overview function. This allowed me to see primary terms, question-based terms, long tail keywords, which ultimately allowed us to create SEO content for every page on their website, like their homepage, their dentures page, their Medicare page, and all of this guided us on scripting for their video ads. So when we launched the website, we were really trying to reach their ideal patient, and SplashDash is really good at this. Obviously, we interviewed the client directly. They're gonna tell us what kind of patient they want the most. Sometimes that actually isn't accurate because they're looking through a biased keyhole. So I like to come prepared to these meetings with demographics information. When we ran this search in their area, which is Clearwater, Largo is a part of Clearwater, we saw that there was a large Hispanic and African American population. That's really important because that's gonna guide the creative that we do, that's gonna guide the messaging and just the overall experience for the brand. This insight also showed us that all of these people, in a majority, were boomers and millennials. So we're gonna show those people in our ad creative, we're gonna show those people in our landing pages, and that's going to increase our conversion rates from the average conversion rate of our website of 2% up to 5% if you really hit the nail on the head. But you've also got to understand that the data showed that people in Clearwater had a low median household income of $59,000, and that's lower than most of the places in that nearby area. So we had to be conscious with the words that we were using and the way that we were advertising. This ultimately led to our offer, which is public everywhere around the brand, which is a $99 insurance or no insurance new patient special that patients took advantage of and the leads started coming in. When we started advertising, we used Meta and we used Google. I always like to say you can't wait for people to discover your brand. You have to go out there and do that. And Meta is a great way to do that, to launch those ads. With that information that we had from the demographics, we knew that the population size was great in Clearwater so that we were going to get results. SplashDash's ad budget simulator recommended that we spend $3,811 per month on the advertising spend. The early results started coming in, and anytime an early result comes in, I like to communicate with the client of the quick wins that we're getting to keep buying confidence so they can keep investing with the platforms that they're spending on. Once we reach the $3,800 a month spend, then we can make recommendations into the other towns that SplashDash recommended directly around their area, which would increase the advertising budget to $7,524 if we wanted to expand. Data shows that most people won't drive more than 15 minutes to go see a dentist, so we kept the advertising tight-knit and we're always swapping out the different creative. The patients that started coming through the door are the ones that we were advertising for. Things like Medicare, things like just a new patient cleaning, things like patients that were looking for dentures, implants, all of the above. The ads were effective. And that was a clear sign of being prepared with demographics data in a marketplace that I've never worked in before. When patients search, they're gonna see the Google Guaranteed section. This is a place where doctors and home service professionals and attorneys can submit their documentation to get verified. Before just throwing some expectations at the client, I use SplashDash's local service ads analyzer to see some critical information about the marketplace. Things like the average amount of reviews that businesses had. In this location, it was high. Average amount of reviews was 1,088 reviews. So until we get up to a higher amount, we're not gonna spend a ton of money there. Also, the profile optimizations. In SplashDash at a quick glance, I can see the average number of photos in this marketplace was 8. So I needed 8 high quality photos to be above average in that marketplace, along with the average review rating. When you come to a meeting prepared with this information, you sound like you have a plan, you don't sound like you're guessing. And it is extremely unprofessional to guess what the client's advertising spend. And so for the result, I have Vivek here and I decided to interview him about the process, what he sees, what his challenges were, and how SplashDash allowed him to gain clarity as well.
Hi, I'm Dr. Vivek Solanki, and I'm a periodontist. My partner, Dr. Remo Patel, and I own multiple dental offices in the greater Tampa area, and we work with DevelopMark for our marketing, our SEO, and to help us drive patients into our practice so we can help take care of people. I met Ruan many years ago through some colleagues, website analysis, website build, and just basic marketing. And then since then, the relationship grew where we learned a lot about it. It wasn't just a transactional relationship where we would pay for services. We actually got an understanding of what we were paying for and how it affected our dental offices, right? It's a big misconception that if I open a location, we in the dental space have access and tools to, get some basic demographic data about how many patients are in this area, what's the saturation ratios between dentist to patient population ratios, median household incomes. We can kind of give you some guidance there. So the most common stressor for doctors that are opening locations is how quickly can I get patients into the practice to then offset those expenses so that we can, one, provide good patient care, but so that we don't go negative. Outside of the basics, it would be nice to know, what are the competitors doing? What are other people in the area doing that have made them successful? What do the patients in this community care about? What do they feel? That's not usually data that many practitioners have access to. And that's very important because if you're going to market, it would be nice to know what you're marketing for, some sort of competitive advantage. It will help you be somewhat successful. And so that's one of the things that we really wanted to know before opening a new location is can we get more data on the patient population? What our competitors are doing, how much they're spending, what's reasonable for this area, and most importantly, what is it that the patient wants? Are they price sensitive? Is it the office setting? Is it how the dentist makes them feel? We often aren't told the why. Right? So somebody comes to us and says, hey, you got to spend $10,000 a month here. Why? That's just what we recommend. Why? Keep going until you get the real answer. So it would be nice to know why the budget is set to what it is. And if we don't spend that much, are we then wasting money? If we spend more, what impact is it going to have on the business? It's nice to have some sort of data. Now it's all estimates, but it's educated guessing. It's going into this battle being more prepared and to have a successful outcome.
So what stood out to me about this process? What was the challenge? The challenge is working with a new business and a new location can be very difficult if you don't have the right data. By having the data prepared for the meetings, you're gonna get a more satisfied client. You're not gonna look like you're underprepared, and most importantly, you're not gambling their advertising spend. Because of our prepared approach, the results happened quickly, the website didn't take long to make, and we knew with confidence, because of the sentiment analysis and the data that I showed you during this video, we were going to get success. Now, it's just how do we spend more money to reach more customers? My advice to you would be to give SplashDash a try for your next meeting. Show up prepared with good data, show up prepared with proactive information, and don't be that marketing professional that gets stuck with absolutely nothing to back up their claims. Give it a try for free, visit the website, and if you like it, sign up for the paid plan.